The story of Yasuke, often known as the Black Samurai, remains one of the most captivating and enigmatic tales in the history of Japan. Yasuke, an African man who journeyed to Japan in the late 16th century, defied conventions of his time and rose to prominence in a society that was largely homogeneous and feudal. His journey from an unknown background to becoming a samurai under one of Japan's most influential warlords, Oda Nobunaga, reveals a complex narrative interwoven with themes of race, loyalty, cultural assimilation, and the unexpected intersections of global histories. This account of Yasuke's life, though shrouded in mystery and limited by historical documentation, offers a rare glimpse into an era where African, Japanese, and European worlds collided in unique and unpredictable ways. Yasuke's origins are uncertain, and this obscurity contributes to the mythic allure surrounding his story. He is believed to have been of African origin, possibly from the regions of Mozambique, Ethiopia, or Sudan, though his exact birthplace remained a mystery. According to records, Yasuke first arrived in Japan in 1579 as a servant to the Jesuit missionary Alessandro Valignano, an Italian who held a prominent position within the Catholic mission in Asia. Valignano traveled extensively in East Asia, promoting the Catholic faith and overseeing the integration of European missionaries in the region. When Yasuke arrived in Japan with Valignano, he was likely the first African many Japanese people had ever seen. His dark skin and towering stature sparked immediate curiosity, fascination, and perhaps even fear among the local population. Yasuke's arrival in Japan coincided with a period of profound political and social transformation. Japan at that time was embroiled in a prolonged era of civil wars and power struggles known as the Sengoku period. Daimyos, or feudal lords, were fighting for control over different regions, and there was an intense interest in firearms and other technologies introduced by the Europeans, as well as an emerging interest in foreign individuals themselves. Yasuke's appearance and presence in Japan, therefore, came a historical moment when Japan was both war-torn and open to new influences. Nobunaga, one of the most ambitious and progressive daimyo of his time, saw potential in Yasuke beyond what most Japanese contemporaries could envision. Nobunaga was captivated by Yasuke's presence, height, and physical strength, which were extraordinary even by European standards, but completely unprecedented in Japan. The initial encounter between Oda Nobunaga and Yasuke is described in accounts as one filled with fascination on Nobunaga's part. Yasuke's black skin led some to believe he was covered in ink, and Nobunaga, intrigued, ordered him to wash, thinking the color would fade. When it became clear that Yasuke's skin was naturally dark, Nobunaga's interest only grew. Nobunaga, a powerful and somewhat unconventional leader, was known for his curiosity about foreign cultures and technologies. He often welcomed European traders and missionaries, not out of mere curiosity, but with an eye for understanding and potentially exploiting the military and technological advancements they could offer. Nobunaga's recognition of Yasuke's unique qualities went beyond superficial fascination. He saw potential in the African strength, loyalty, and seemingly resilient spirit. In a remarkable turn of events, Yasuke soon became a part of Nobunaga's inner circle. He was no longer a mere servant, but rather an attendant to the daimyo himself. Yasuke's rapid ascension from foreigner and servant to a member of the samurai class was unprecedented in Japanese society. Samurai were expected to embody loyalty, courage, and martial skill, ideals that Yasuke would have had to learn and embody in order to survive in his new role. As a samurai, he received training in the art of Japanese warfare, swordsmanship, and perhaps even Japanese culture, language, and protocol. In embracing these new responsibilities, Yasuke had to navigate the complex web of feudal Japanese hierarchy, an enormous challenge for anyone, let alone an African in a foreign land. Despite the limited records, it is known that Yasuke was involved in battles alongside Nobunaga's forces. This participation would have been a testament to Nobunaga's trust in him. As a samurai, Yasuke was entrusted with defending his lord and engaging in combat. This role placed him in close proximity to Nobunaga and solidified his place within the warrior elite of Japan. Yasuke's presence on the battlefield would have been a remarkable sight. For the Japanese soldiers and other samurai, Seeing an African samurai fighting alongside them, clad in armor and wielding a katana, must have been bewildering and inspiring. Yasuke had become more than a symbol. He was a warrior who represented both the strength of loyalty and the fluidity of cultural boundaries in a period of transition. The bond between Yasuke and Nobunaga, however, was tragically short-lived. Nobunaga's life came to a sudden end in 1582, when his trusted general, Akechi Mitsuhide, betrayed him in an infamous coup known as the Hanoji Incident. Nobunaga, cornered and facing an imminent attack, chose to commit seppuku, a form of ritual suicide, rather than fall into enemy hands. Yasuke, by virtue of his loyalty, was present during this fateful moment. Accounts suggest that Yasuke fought valiantly to defend Nobunaga, but ultimately he could not prevent the death of his lord. Following Nobunaga's death, Yasuke's fate took a dramatic turn. Mitsuhide's forces captured him, and his future in Japan became uncertain. According to some accounts, Yasuke was spared from execution due to his foreign status. It is said that Mitsuhide declared Yasuke as a beast and not a true samurai, thus dismissing him rather than seeing him as a serious threat. This episode reflects the pervasive cultural biases that Yasuke had to contend with, even after proving his loyalty and courage as a samurai. The records of Yasuke's life after Nobunaga's death are ambiguous, and his story ends as mysteriously as it began. Some speculate that he was returned to the Jesuit missionaries who brought him to Japan, while others suggest that he may have tried to continue his life as a ronin, or a masterless samurai. The lack of documentation leaves room for both speculation and legend. Yasuke's tale, in its incompleteness, has inspired countless retellings and interpretations. Today, Yasuke's legacy endures as an emblem of resilience, cultural convergence, and the incredible journeys that individuals of African descent have undertaken throughout history. His life challenges the traditional narratives of both Japanese and African history, underscoring the fluidity of identity and the unexpected ways in which people of different backgrounds can shape each other's lives. In modern times, Yasuke's story has gained renewed interest, particularly as historians and creatives seek to reclaim and reinterpret the narratives of African figures who impacted global history. Yasuke's life has been the subject of novels, films, and anime, capturing the imagination of people across the world. His legacy stands as a testament to the complexity of historical narratives and the ways in which they can transcend conventional boundaries of race, nationality, and culture. Yasuke's tale reminds us that history is not just a record of events, but also a tapestry woven from the diverse and intermingling lives of individuals who have dared to defy their circumstances.